All right, that's exciting. We don't want to share anything, but in our eyes right now, we're going to celebrate tonight like that's a championship, because it is. It's a piece of it for sure. There's 3 groups that just went into the championship room, and that was an excited locker room. I'm so pleased, and I probably have to say this in this kind of format. So much has to go to the senior group for so many reasons. It would have been so easy for those guys to just choose a different place at the time with the change. And the one thing that I learned from this group as we built relationships going on here was that they chose to stay because there was unfinished business, number one. They stayed because of their teammates. They stayed because of North Dakota State University and the things that our people provide, the opportunities for these young people. And then they stayed because of Bison Pride, and they felt like they could get the job done. And then over the course of time, I can tell you I'm really fond of this senior group. There's some great men that are going to do unbelievable things. I'm excited for all of them. Obviously we were a little bit up and down, and I can't believe I'm saying that with 59 points on the board. We played really well today and pretty good complementary football against a good offense. And that offensive team is good, and we forced some takeaways, and I think that was the difference. With that, I'll open up for questions.
How important was it for you to get those seniors out at that point where you did and kind of give them that standing ovation leaving the field there?
Well, I don't know if it's important because, how many times you get to do that or get that opportunity. So the opportunity arose for us to send a whole offensive group out there that were all seniors, and I thought that was pretty cool. And Coach Larson kind of navigated that and put it all together, and I think it was cool. I wish there wasn't the injury, obviously, for the young man over there, so we could have kind of just been more natural, but it was cool. TK Marshall was a mess, of emotion at the end there, and you could tell these guys are tight, and I really appreciate the opportunity. It's an honor to be the head coach and to help those guys reach some of their goals.
First quarter.
Like fast and furious, you go down and score, right? And then we get a takeaway and we score again, and it's kind of like, all right, can we just, step on the gas here? And I thought in the middle of the second quarter, maybe early in the second quarter, as I was looking at the sidelines, I was a little bit disappointed in some of our younger guys not adding to our environment. I challenged them in the locker room, we've got to be grateful for the opportunity to play 60 full minutes, and we need everybody to be adding to the environment, being supportive. I didn't like the way it felt in the second quarter, but the first quarter, Jeff, was in the start of that game was ideal.
What did you see offensively that you could have success today?
Well, I thought we handled their adjustment really fast, with answers. They were playing a little bit of a monster back out of the 4 down front, which would be hard to capture that guy, the stack backer. And we got to some pin and pulls, and we got on the edge, and that was really good. And then the inside stuff, just directly right at them, we kind of had some creases in there. I thought they did a good job versus the inside zone stuff, but outside of that, I thought Jake really did a good job trying to cultivate balance in a game that it would have been easy to just try to run it every down. And so the production was good, but we got to see how clean we were on tape.
Cam throwing an interception that's almost bizarre.
And for the type of interception and the way it went down, he'll tell you that's his worst play of the year. He at the top of his drop, that ball should have came out to Bryce Lance, and it should have been a post ball throw. And I think he was just anticipating, more of a cover one and the free safety playing deep and being able to hit the deep crosser. It was goofy, too, because we had a great conversation. The last thing we want to do is go 3 and out here or give them the ball back really quick because of how explosive they were. Pre-game at the meal today, we talked about winning the middle 8. We're 66-16 going in the game. And I thought that touchdown they had, that was going to be a swing that maybe, could have got them back in the game. And thank God we got that final touchdown before half.
But the response, he was 6 of 6 on that drive. What's that say?
He tapped me right away. He said, Coach, we've been doing 2 minutes before half. Trust me, stay with me, I got you. And I said, Randy, let's go. If we get the first down, we're rocking and rolling.
Evaluate your defensive line. I think 6 sacks, 9 TFLs seem like they're very disruptive today.
One of the things that's really hard in football is to gauge how good others are. Your opponents. How good are these guys versus us? I thought offensive line-wise they were pretty solid coming in, but we talked about having an extraordinary effort today. Our best effort was still out there, just like it will be again next week. We're trying to play to the standard and then reestablish a standard. And I think some of those guys that are doing that on a consistent basis is the defensive line. They've been impressive. And Zenzen had a play here late versus, I think, one of their top tackles, Kelton, McCaslin. And so we continue to develop depth. But the hardest part about all that is, can you play hard and get home and then cause, bad things to happen for the offense? We had a strip sack. Enoch shows up again. I mean, the guy's just a football player. He really is, and I'm really excited about his energy.
Brown finally got his home run today.
Yeah. Yeah, and he almost came out on another one. I just think it's a matter of pitchers. I think we'd have liked to win the race sooner, get to this point, but he really looked good. And I'll tell you, I think Barika's getting better. I mean, just because he's a little bit older guy, with the outside zone play, I think he's starting to read that pretty good, and those guys are competing hard and supporting each other hard. It was really good to see Marty rattle one off because he's capable.
I know that you're celebrating tonight, but everything that you want is there next weekend. And
Yeah.
that's, 24-hour rule and all that stuff that you guys talked about, but it's all right there.
Yeah, no, I just told him I'm not interested in sharing anything. And so our mind's got to get right at about 1 o'clock on Sunday with treatment. This game plan better be starting to get moved forward, being tight, because this defense that South Dakota has is going to be a great challenge once again. I know that without even studying them, just seeing them across tape and studying them a little bit. No, we're going to have to move on fast. We got 24 hours to celebrate this thing. It's important that we do that. But we're going to need the guys to be on top of some things here tomorrow night.
For Barika and Marty to have the days that they had, is that just kind of the ultimate running back production for you at this point here at NDSU? Is this kind of the game you've been waiting for both of those guys to have the same day?
Yeah, it's not a mystery. You guys have known I wanted to get back. Where tailbacks are special in this program, and tailbacks are, on posters for camp. They're on posters for the schedule. We've had outstanding quarterbacks. I'd like to have some guys that could have production like that. And the offensive line obviously must have played well to create some of those creases, but I thought our perimeter blocking and effort was just extraordinary, and a lot has to go to those guys when you break runs.
Your first senior day as a head coach, how did you feel you handled that?
I know I handled the pregame talk pretty well. It was interesting. It was different for me because they are so special. The seniors are so special, but you've only been with them for 10 months, and there are several of these guys that we've created special relationships with. For a few of the guys, that have really came up in the office and wanted to talk about our approach and those kind of things, it was pretty darn special. But with each and every guy that I shook hands with, for a moment there, I thought about a situation or I thought about going through something together. I'll have these guys back forever. They're unbelievable people, and we're on to writing a pretty good story right now. There's still a lot of work to do.
Crosa know the record? Did you tell him, or did he tell you
No, I
about the
think
record?
Crosa was pretty aware because when I sent Eli, what was it, a couple of weeks ago? 3 games ago, I sent Eli out there kind of early to get some time and to kick some field goals, and Crosa kind of gave me one of those looks. And I said, hey, we got to keep moving the program forward. Guys need repetitions, and you'll get your shot. And I think that was the first time he kind of really showed me his cards that he knew. And so it was a good deal. I mean, some of these records are going to be hard to break with the COVID year and the amount of plays and repetitions and games these guys have played in.
The games that you guys did today, just kind of how did it feel to get out there and see both of you guys produce at that kind of level?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear your question.
You're good. Just kind of how does it feel to get out there and see you and Marty produce at the level that you guys did?
It's awesome. It just shows the type of work that we both put in, and also TK, he does a great job. He's also a leader in our group, and so just us always doing what we got to do, and to be the best we can on Saturdays is what we try to do.
Can you guys lock down at least a share of the conference title? Obviously, admission's not done yet, but just kind of the feeling in the locker room after at least securing a share of it.
Yeah, it feels great. It's awesome to see the young guys finally get into the championship room. It's been too long, but we don't want to share it. We want the conference title by ourselves, and that's the plan moving forward.
Cam, I gotta ask, the sun get in your eyes, or what happened on that one throw?
Yeah. I was telling the coaches I think that needed to happen. You just kind of get it out of the way, and you don't have to think about not throwing a pick during the season. So honestly, I'm kind of glad that I threw a pick, but thankfully it didn't impact the game at all.
What about the response, though? After that, what was your response?
I wanted the ball. Yeah, once they went and scored, I knew that we had enough time on the clock to go 75 yards and score.
Was that in your head before, kind of realizing that you hadn't thrown one all year? Was that something
I think it's just human nature to think about it a little bit. You feel like, obviously I've gotten lucky on a few, but you sort of put a little bit of pressure on yourself having not thrown one. But it's out of the way and it's done with, and I'll learn from it.
Eli, tell me about the emotions today, knowing it's your last regular season home game and dealing with that and coming out the way the defense played this afternoon.
It was a surreal moment for me and the whole senior class to come out here and kind of play really well against this Missouri team that had a lot of momentum coming into the game. And I think we performed really well, and we're really excited to get after it next week too.
The entire conference play defensively, what changed when league play started for you guys, especially up front?
I think we just took in fact that we were kind of getting gashed in the first 3 weeks by those teams in the run game, and we just emphasized tackling and run defense, and then it kind of got to the back half and pass rush, and now we've been playing really well. We're on a roll and trying to keep that going into the playoffs.
What's the moment like to get into the conference, into the champions room? What was that like for you guys, especially you seniors?
Yeah, it was really fun to get the guys in the champions room. It's been a hot minute, 3 years, and I hope they enjoyed it as much as we do to get back in there for the first time in a while.
You give a thought on some of the career records of these guys, like Griffin, career scoring record, and what's that mean to guys like you?
It's a really cool moment. We came in with him from day one, and he's been grinding his butt off since he was here. And for him to work so hard to get that record is really cool to see.
At the start, the block touchdown by Barika, then the fumble. It just seemed like you guys had kind of rode the wave early. Just how would you describe that opening?
Yeah, we emphasized this week on starting fast and getting on quick, and we knew if we got them fast, they'd start to tap early, and kind of let them back in the game midway through that second quarter, I think it was. But yeah, we finished them off pretty well, and I like the way we play as a team, and we're going to continue to improve as the season progresses.
The pass rush was really disruptive yet again. How much pride did you guys take in your pass rushing ability, at least through this league play period?
Yeah, we've been working on it a lot the past couple weeks because we weren't getting as much pressure as we wanted since Dylan got hurt, and kind of in that middle range of the season. And we've been working on it, and we're really excited to finally get to the QB a decent amount in this game, and it's going to continue to build on that and hopefully get after Aiden Bauman in South Dakota next week.
Coach was talking about he'd like to see a few more home run plays out of the running backs. Obviously today with Barika and Marty, that happened a lot. Why do you think those runs finally kind of pop for those longer touchdown type of runs?
I think just a credit to the offensive line. I think there were some pretty big holes in there, and obviously the athletes made the play as well. But like BK said, they just worked so hard, and I'm happy to see them finally bust a long one. And I've been in their ear for the last 4 weeks asking, when is this going to happen? We've had some really long runs, but not 60, 50-yarders, so it was awesome to see. And I think they need to build off that. And I don't know, I love home run hitters. It makes the drive quicker and get off the field.
Grayson, what's that been like with Cam in your ear for these past few weeks?
Honestly annoying.
Locker buddies.
Yeah,
So
locker here, there. He's like, when is it gonna happen? Oh, Cam, I don't know. But no, it motivates me and keeps me going, keeps me grounded, knowing I gotta keep going and keep working. Like I can't be complacent, and that's something that we gotta always fight, just complacency. And I think a good thing that our coaching staff does is always be in our ear, always pushing us and keeping us going. So just us fighting that complacency and keeping the mentality to keep going is what they've been putting in our ear. So.
Go ahead, Mike.
You guys have put yourself in a position where next week's game is you can get everything you want. I know you just won tonight, but looking ahead, you can secure a lot of things going into next week.
Yeah, I think that would be huge for us to play at home, throughout the playoffs. And we've had some crossover film where we've watched South Dakota, and they're extremely impressive on offense and defense. I know they run the ball really well. They stop the run really well. And we're going to have our hands full. We're going to have to practice really well this week. And I wouldn't want it, any other way. Playing a top 5 opponent on the road last week of the year and see what we're truly made of going into the playoffs.
I saw you were pretty visible with the team, speaking to him after the senior celebration. What was that about after you guys got introduced?
That's something that I do every game. but there was quite a few emotions, I think, just, running through the seniors. And we knew that this wasn't going to be the last opportunity at home. So I think that gave us a little bit more comfort. We weren't, very emotional about that. But we've been playing this game so long with one another, and we just don't want it to be done.